This is a Masterlock padlock, and these are the keys. I'll just show it working. There you go. But as you know on this channel, we don't like using keys, or at least not the proper keys. What we're going to do today is to open this up with a bump key. So if I put the key in there, you can see it doesn't work, it doesn't open. But if we take this little rubber ring, stick it on the end, pop it in the keyway, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this with a hammer. While I'm hitting it with a hammer, I'm just going to turn it, hit and turn, and we'll see if we can't get this lock open. 6 hits, and this key works in this padlock. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a bump key like that to open up Masterlock padlocks. Firstly, we're going to need a key blank. Now, I happen to have this box, which is full of key blanks and also spare keys. Now, when you buy new locks, they tend to come with a whole bunch of new keys, which is great when you're using them in your front door. But I tend to use them for lock sport, so what I would do is keep one working key for the lock and, chuck a couple of spares in here for projects such as this. So what we're looking for is Masterlock keys, and I'm sure, yep, there we go, I'm sure I've got a couple in here. And I think, what we got there, yeah, I think these should do just well. I think I might use this one. I'm just going to double check that doesn't work in the lock. There we go. You can see it doesn't work because that bit in doesn't correspond to the pins in this lock. So I think we're going to use that one as our base. In order to make this key into a bump key, there are two things we need to do. Firstly, we need to level out the troughs in the key. So if you look at any key, you get troughs shown just here, and you also get peaks shown just here. Now, a bump key needs to have level troughs all the way through it. So the reason I picked this particular key is because that one there and that one there look to me to be pretty much level. So all we need to do is to take this one down a little way and take this one down a little way. The other thing we need to do is to cut a little section off this key here, and I'll show you why. So that part of the key that sticks up just there is what stops it going too far into the lock. You can see that it just hits the top of the lock, or top of the keyway, just there. And because the way the bump key works is with that ring, as we're hitting it, the key's got to go in and out, in and out. So to allow that movement, we've just got to cut a little section off of the key just there. I've put a couple of marks on the key there, and that is just so I can keep in line with my tool as I'm making the cuts. There are a couple of ways to do it. You could use a round needle file like this, pop your key in a vise or something to hold it still. Rest the needle file in the groove of the cut you want to make, and then just file away until you reach the required depth. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use the easy method, which is the lishi key cut tool. This is a really great bit of kit. I have reviewed this tool before, so I'll pop the link to that video in the description so you can check it out if you want to. But the way this works is we are going to put our key in. Obviously, we don't need to worry about those first two cuts. We're just going to cut this one and this one. So you line up your tool, you've got your center line there, lift it up, put your key in, hold it at the right depth, and then just squeeze the tool together, and it should cut out the exact amount we need. So let me eyeball this through the camera. I think that looks about right just there, almost aligned. A little bit less, I've got to kind of check it off camera. I think we're right there, so I'm going to make that cut. Oh, I think that looks pretty good. We might need to do a little bit of filing on that. I'm only taking the tiniest bit off that particular cut, so it's quite hard to take just a little bit off with this tool. This cut should be a bit easier. Let me just do this kind of off camera so I can see what I'm doing. That looks about right. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So I'll just pinch him in place, squeeze the handles together, and that makes our cut. And let's have a look at our key. That's not bad at all. I think we need to take a little bit more off of that one. Our cuts are looking pretty uniform. What we need to do now is to just cut a section out from the key. This doesn't need to be super precise. I'm going to say about there. Looks about right to me. All we're doing is leaving a little bit of room for that rubber ring to sit to give it a little bit of a rebound as it's going in and out of the keyway. Let's go over to the vise and I'll make that cut. We're almost there. I'm just going to take my file and get rid of these sharp edges. I'm not going to spend too much time doing this, but if all of those edges are a little bit smoother, then the key should work smoother in the lock, and that means we should be able to get more opens. Let's give it a try. We've got our new bump key and we have got our lock, so let's see if this new bump key works. One hit and I felt it turn. There we go, we got this one open. So it's a fun project if you've got a spare key and a file. The only other thing you need is these little orange rings. Now I found these, if you look on eBay and search for castration rings, that's exactly what these things are, but they work a treat. Anyway, thanks for watching today and I'll see you on the next one.